Hey everybody, it's Genoa with the Crafty Mess. I'm here with another YouTube tutorial. Today we're going to be making paint and sip for Valentine's couples date night. Stay tuned to learn how I did this. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your crafty friends, and hit that notification bell. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so let's go over what is going to be included in a little bit more detail. And I apologize for the shakiness of the camera. I had to attach it to the actual desk that I'm working on, so anytime I move it, it kind of shakes a little bit. So I apologize up front. I'll try my best to limit the amount of shaking that's going on. So let's go over the supplies. I have these paint pots that I purchased from Amazon, and like always, I'm going to link everything in the description box. There's a whole bag of them. There are 20 different sets that came in here, and it also came with 20 sets of paintbrushes in 3 different sizes. So all of this came together. So I went ahead and took out 2, since it is for couples sip and paint, and I pre-filled 2 of those strips with paint colors that I thought would go good with the canvases that were selected. And the paints that I use are just the regular apple barrel paints that you can pick up from any craft store or from Walmart. I happen to have ordered mine from Amazon, so I'll go ahead and link it to where you can get them from Amazon. The smaller ones, I believe, were like 60 cents, and then the larger 8-ounce ones were like $2.50. So based on the canvases that she selected, I also went ahead and put in this yellow for the crowns. And I didn't pick it up in the apple barrel, so I have this acrylic paint that I have picked up from my local Dollar Tree. All right. So these are the paint brushes that came with the paint pots. So I'm going to go ahead and grab out some of these for my date night kit. So there's 3 different sizes. So I'm going to select 2 of each size. I need another of those. So I thought that was really neat, and you get 20 sets. So if you're doing individual paint nights, you can do 20 individuals, or if you're doing the date night ones for like Valentine's Day or what have you, then you can get 10 couple sets out of those. Stick those over to the side. I also went ahead and picked up this 8-pack of paint palettes from Amazon. I'm going to include one of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and open that and take one of those out. So there. This is going to be going into our set, and then this will go back into the package for the next gift or order, and put that to the side. Okay, so I also like to include a couple extras in the Valentine's Day set. So for Valentine's Day set, I'm going to be including 2 shot glasses. These are the different design choices. So I'm going to grab 2 of those and include those in the kit, 1 for each person. I also created this dirty dice game in Canva. So I printed that out on my printer, and I'm going to include one of these dirty dice games in the kit, as well as the die, so that they can play the game. So what I did is I went to Dollar Tree and I picked up one of these. They call it Yacht, but it's like their generic version of Yahtzee. And so I just take one of the dice out of the game, and that will be included in the kit. So what I like to do is laminate that, just to give it a little extra. So Just grabbing over here from the side. I have these peel and stick self-laminating sheets. And so what I'm going to do is, it has like a protective film. I'm going to remove that protective film. So my shiny side, sorry, not shiny side, my sticky side is up. And then I'm going to, it's kind of hard to see because it's clear. I'm going to put that face down, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to grab my little scraper tool and kind of go over it just to burnish it really good. And then I'll take my paper trimmer and go ahead and trim up the excess. So now the game has been laminated. That way, if things get crazy with the shots, they don't have to worry about it ruining their cute little game. And then I made sure to put my business name on the bottom of that, since I did go ahead and create that. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim up the sides. So there we have the finished product. You can see I've trimmed the sides. It's nice and shiny, and it's protected on both sides. And this is such a cute and inexpensive way to step up your packaging and your offer for such little cost. I was able to print 2 games on one piece of, sorry about that, throw that protective sheet away. But I was able to print 2 games on one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and only use one of those peel and sticks to laminate both sides of the game. And then that yacht game from the Dollar Tree was when I purchased it, it was $1, but now it would be $1.25, and you get to do 5 different paint kits with that one game. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this over to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and I think we'll do these for the shot glasses. Okay. And I'm going to show you how I package this as well. Now, this is for a friend, so I'm going to include an additional game for her. I picked this game up from my clearance section at craft store after Valentine's Day, and so I've been holding on to it. So I'm going to go ahead and include that. It's a little couples trivia game, and I'll just show you. This is what it looks like inside when you open it. It's a metal tin, cute little metal tin. It has this heart design on the back, and then when you flip it over, it has these couples trivia questions. So for example, this says, who always gets things their way? This one, if I could have any superpower, what would I choose? What food grosses me out? So those are just some examples of the type of cards that are in that kit. So what I did is I went ahead and I have my heat press already warmed up to 400 degrees, and I printed out these 2 designs that I got from Etsy, and I have printed them out on sublimation paper. We're going to be using, there we go with the shaky camera again. We're going to be using these flat canvas panels that I picked up from my local Dollar Tree, and they are 11 by 14 in size. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the plastic on my canvases. We're going to get these images taped down, and then we'll take them over to the heat press. Okay, so I have both of my images taped down to my flat panels. Now it's time for us to go ahead and take it over to the heat press. I'm going to cover it with some butcher paper, and we're going to press for 50 seconds at 400 degrees. All right, both of them have been pressed 450 seconds, and that is what the canvas looks like. Still looks like there's some ink left, but happy with this because You just want to provide an outline for the customer. So it doesn't have to be super dark. Now, I've seen where people have gone back over them with like a permanent marker or something, but I really don't think that it's necessary. Like I said, you're just providing an outline. You're going to give them the paints and the paintbrushes so they can go ahead and color them, fill them in the way that they would like, but these turned out wonderful. All right, so next thing is packaging them. Now, these flat canvases do have a tendency to bend a bit. So what you could do is put something heavy on it and let it sit to keep them from bending or curving. I just kind of, while they're still warm, just kind of pull them in the opposite direction to straighten them out a bit. All right. So I'm going to let these cool down, and then I'll show you how I package everything. Before we move into the packaging, I just want to show you what I do. I just put my handheld iron heat press onto the canvases until they kind of straighten out a bit, and then we'll move on. Okay, so I had some of the stuff left over from the ring pop tutorial that I did, so I'm going to take out some of this. Not too much of it. But stuff gets messy. Like back in the day when we would buy that tinsel and put it all over Christmas trees. As a kid, I didn't understand why my mom hated it so much, but as an adult, I can appreciate what she was talking about now. Okay, so I have these party bags, clear party bags. I usually keep these on hand. I pick these up from Dollar Tree. Okay, and then what I do is I take some of this tinsel or shred or whatever you want to call it. Like I said, back in the day, we called it tinsel. And I just throw it in the bag. Okay, so I'm going to do that for both bags. Just gather it all up. And throw it in the bag. Throw it in the bag. Okay. It's like a little uneven. Looks like this one has a little bit more in it. I don't know why, but that is going to bother me. Oh my God, but this stuff is so annoying. All right, so I have these little candies left over. That one's for me, from the lollipop, ring pop, whatever, as well. So I'm just gonna stick those inside the shot glasses. And maybe I'll do it this way with the lollipop side down, yeah. That way when I tie them up. Okay, and then I'm going to put the shot glass inside the little baggie. And then we'll tie them up with a ribbon. All right, so I actually changed my mind because it was driving me crazy. I couldn't get it to lay in the bag the way that I wanted to. So what I did is I balled it up and put it inside of the shot glass, put the candy back in, and now we're going to wrap them like so. Looks a lot better, a lot cleaner, a lot less messy, and it's going to be easier for me to wrap. So I have this ribbon that I picked up a few years back from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut off couple of pieces of this so I can tie a bow. Oh. That'll be just fine. Just make them even. Throw that in the garbage. So now I'm just going to take this, tie this around the popsicle stick. So there you go. Looks so much better. I cut the tops of the bags off because these are little small shot glasses. And then on the back, I just put some double-sided tape because the bags were rather large. But I didn't want each shot glass to have its own individual bag. So we're going to set those aside. Now, I'm going to put all this tinsel aside as well. So I have these shrink wrap bags that I bought a while ago, but they come in handy a lot when I'm shipping stuff. This was one that I had kind of cut down. So I found that you can kind of reuse the pieces that you didn't use up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the paint in the shrink wrap, and that way I don't have to worry about these accidentally opening and the paint getting all over everything that's inside. So I'm just going to take my scissors and cut along this side seam. I'm going to open it up like that. And then I'm going to take the pots and just kind of roll them up in the shrink wrap with the paintbrushes. So I'm just going to stick it like that. And then I'm going to roll. It doesn't have to be tight because once you put the heat on it, it's going to shrink down. I'm just going to roll it over a couple of times, and then I'm going to cut off the excess. And I'm going to take my heat gun and shrink this down. Okay, so it only took a few seconds. It's kind of loud, so I didn't do it on camera. Just going to trim up the sides a little bit, but you can see everything is wrapped pretty securely and tightly in that shrink wrap. I'm gonna be careful not to cut the paint brushes when I'm trying to trim up the side, but I don't have to worry about this getting damaged, popping open, and then the paint getting all over everything in the kit. It'll stay, you know, even if this were to get damaged, it'll stay inside of the shrink wrap. All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and put this to the side because I can use that at another time. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to include the paint, the palette, the game, and the die, along with the canvases in one of the shrink wrap bags. So I'm going to get a full-size bag. You can see how big it is. So this is a full-size bag. It's measuring at 16 by 12. So it is definitely big enough to fit our 11 by 14 canvas inside. So here we have our two canvases. I'm going to go ahead and slide them in the bag. And try not to rip the bag as I'm doing that. Okay. Very carefully. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I can actually leave this separate. I just don't want the dice, the die getting lost. So I think I'll put this in the back. I don't want to block the view of the beautiful canvas. I'm going to put the die back there, and then we're going to put our paint palette Gonna stick my shot glasses in there as well. Just putting everything in the bag. And then last but not least, like I said, this is for a friend, so I'm gonna add this extra little game in there. And now, same thing we did with the paint palettes, we're gonna go ahead and shrink wrap this. So I'm going to curl it over like that and then go ahead and shrink wrap it. All right, so got everything shrink wrapped. Let's see. It's all in there. Now that dice is going to move around a bit. Okay, it's not going to stay. And I still am going to wrap this in this bubble wrap. And then we'll go ahead and package it up and send it off. I want to thank you guys for joining me. This is Genoa with A Crafty Mess. Thank you so much. Until next time, make sure that you are liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your notification on, and sharing this video with your crafty friends. Thank you for joining me again. Bye.